Hey y'all, it's Deb and welcome back and welcome to my kitchen. Today you're going to see me make 6 different meals. They can be for lunches or dinners or whatever you need. It's a big cooking day for me. I like to do this once or twice a week, cook a lot, and then all we have to do is heat stuff up or make a few sides and I'm ready to go for an entire week. It's a lot less stressful, saves us a ton of money, and I have realized in the last couple of years that this keeps us from eating out too much. From the freezer, I grabbed a large package of chicken breasts. There were 6 in there. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with those. I found 1 pound of ground beef, 1 pound of ground turkey, a little bit of pizza dough, and some quinoa. Okay, so let's get started. I took the 6 chicken breasts and I sliced them up into long, kind of like tenderloin shapes, made 2 different marinades, and they've been sitting here since about 5 o'clock this morning. So they've been marinating for about 5.5 hours now. I will have the marinades listed below with everything that you're gonna need. These are super easy, and I promise you, you probably have these ingredients on hand. So with this chicken, this is an Italian seasoning type. We're gonna bake this on a baking sheet. It's gonna be so good. We can use that in several different recipes. And then with the teriyaki chicken, you're gonna see me throw that into the crock pot, so that can be cooking while we're working on everything else. I've got my crock pot turned on high. The liner inside, I know you can't tell because it's so old. The label's been rubbed off. And we are just going to take our chicken that's been marinating all morning. Juices and everything gets dumped in there. I'm just pressing that down. And we're gonna let this cook on high for about 4 hours. I've got a large baking sheet here. I'm gonna line it with aluminum foil, and then on top of that, I'm gonna place a cooling rack. Now I'm gonna take our marinated chicken and place it on top of the cooling rack. I also have the oven preset to 400 degrees. Now our chicken is ready to bake in the oven at 400 degrees, and I'm gonna start this at about 17 minutes. And after that, I'm gonna check the internal temperature and make sure that it's over 160 degrees. Now that we have 2 dishes going with our chicken, we can start working on the meal where we're gonna combine our ground beef and our ground turkey. Ground turkey is gonna taste a whole lot better if we mix these 2 together. Helps you save money, stay healthy, all the good stuff. Let's get started on these. While our meat is browning up, I'm gonna come over here and chop these 2 onions. As our meat is cooking, I'm gonna add minced garlic, smoked paprika, oregano, and salt. All 4 of those are gonna be great for both recipes. So the meat will already be seasoned, and then I'm also gonna add these 2 chopped onions. For the 2 meals that we're gonna make with the ground beef and the ground turkey, we're gonna make burger bombs using our pizza dough. I'm really excited about those. I think the children are gonna love them. And then with the rest of the meat, we're going to make a pot of chili. With these 2 recipes that we're making, we wanna make sure that for the burger bombs, the meat and the onions are completely cooked through. And they're not ready yet, but I went ahead and grabbed a pot for our chili. I can go ahead and take half of this out and put it in here while this continues to cook. Because the meat and the onions that we put in here, they're gonna cook for another, 45 minutes to an hour in the chili. our chicken has finished cooking in the oven, and that's what you want to see. You want to see that nice brown on top. I wish y'all could smell it. It smells so good. To my chili pot, I'm going to be adding this beef broth, some diced tomatoes, and some tomato sauce. I'm also going to add a bunch of cumin. Add as much as you like. This is a time where you can add heat. My family, most of our stomachs can't tolerate it, so that's a no-go for us. So add whatever you like to your chili. I'm also going to be adding several different types of beans. Just use what you have on hand. I'm actually going to cook some in the Instant Pot because I just don't have any, and that's fine. So while those are cooking in the Instant Pot, this can be getting nice and warmed up. What I need to do before we make our burger bombs, we don't want this to be super, super wet. So I'm going to take this mixture and pour it onto some paper towels just to get it a little bit drier. For the burger bombs, you just need your favorite kind of cheese, some flour, your pizza dough, and your meat mixture. I found this on Amazon a couple years ago. It's just a simple handheld roller, so you don't have to use the big one. This is really great for making something individual like these burger bombs or Hot Pockets or individual pastries. So we're just going to take some flour and dust our surface a little bit. You don't need a whole lot. You don't need a big area since we're working with individual little, pastry type things. Take your pizza dough, open the bag, plop it onto your counter. There you go. Grab a baking sheet and we're going to line this with parchment paper. And one of the great things about cooking for several hours in one day is that my oven is still hot from having cooked the chicken. So it's still at 400. That means I'm not wasting a whole bunch of energy. Okay, so what we want to do is take a little bit of our dough, pinch it off, and we're going to flatten it out, make sure we've got plenty of flour on there. We want to use our tool and roll it out as flat as we can. So we have our flattened out piece of dough right there. I'm going to take this spoon and spoon some of the meat mixture in here. I'm going to sprinkle some cheese on top, and then I'm going to pinch it closed. Like that. And then I'm going to lay these on my baking sheet, and I'll show you what we'll do next. Our burger bombs are done. This recipe made 6, so I have a larger family. So for dinner, I'm going to need to make double or triple this. We're going to serve it with a salad and fruit and things like that, but I'm probably going to make another batch after these are done. I've got some melted butter right here, and then I'm going to sprinkle some oregano on top. I'm going to put them in the oven on 400 and bake for about 13 minutes, and then I'm going to check them. Let's get started on some of the meals with our chicken. A couple of these pieces I'm going to chop up for salad for Adam and I. I've got the Alfredo sauce out because one of our children cannot have chili. It doesn't matter how we make it, what we leave out. There is something about it that just is not great for his stomach. So for him, I've got a pot trying to get the water to go boiling. I'll add the pasta to that and cook that up. I'll add some of this chopped up grilled chicken, the Alfredo sauce, and that'll be for him while the family is having the chili. I'm going to take this Alfredo sauce, I'm going to dump it into this bowl, add in the chopped chicken, and then as soon as the noodles are done, I can throw that in here and we'll mix it all together. Here are our burger bombs right out of, yep, that split. Who cares? That's okay. My kids are still going to eat them. They're great. Oh, I wish you could smell them. Those are awesome. And then I told you earlier that I'm going to put some beans in my Instant Pot. I'll link a recipe down below. When the beans are done, I'll dump them in our pot for our chili. Our pasta water is ready. So for my son, making him the chicken Alfredo, When these noodles are done cooking in about 8 minutes, I'll add them with the Alfredo sauce and the chicken that we made. My son loves extra garlic in his Alfredo and onion powder. And now I'm just gonna mix this up until it's ready, and that'll be all done. And the chicken Alfredo is all done. The next meal that I'm gonna work on, my husband calls quinoa. I'm gonna cook up some quinoa, I'm gonna chop this onion, and we're gonna scramble several eggs. Then we're gonna use some seasonings and toss that all together. What he likes to add is chopped bell pepper. My son and I can't have that, it makes us really sick. We have very sensitive stomachs, so you can add any veggies that you want, but this is the basis of the recipe. While I wait for the quinoa and the water to come to boil on the stove, I'm gonna begin by cracking a bunch of eggs, probably for my family. So in my family, we basically have 4 adults and 1 preteen. So for us, I'm gonna use 8 eggs. I'm going to whisk these together, add some salt and pepper and onion powder, garlic powder, maybe some smoked paprika while my pan is getting hot. I've got my onion going in my hot skillet. The quinoa is over here cooking, and I've got my eggs ready. I'm gonna add these eggs in when these are just about done cooking. Our beans are done, so now I'm gonna pull those out and add them to our chili. We're gonna let this cook for another 30 minutes and then our chili will be done. Our quinoa is finished, as are the eggs and the onions. So all I'm gonna do is dump this quinoa into this bowl, and then our quinoa omelet is finished. And usually we serve this with a side of fruit. It's pink like that because I added smoked paprika. And there is our finished quinoa omelet. If you prefer to have meat with your meals, this would be really great with those chicken sausages that lots of stores buy. They come in a wide variety of flavors, or even pork sausage, kielbasa, anything would work if you prefer having meat with your dinner. Our chicken is finished. I'm going to shred this, then I'm gonna let it cool off and put it away in the fridge. The night that I serve it, all I have to do is make some rice, steam some broccoli, it's ready to go. The chili has about 15 more minutes to simmer, and then I'm gonna let that cool off and put it in the fridge. So to recap, we have made 6 meals. Chicken teriyaki, I'm gonna serve it with rice and steamed broccoli. Chili, I'm gonna serve that with cornbread muffins. Chicken Alfredo, grilled chicken for Adam and I to have on our salad, burger bombs, and quinoa omelet. So it's worth it to do about a 3 hours worth of work, and I am going to be free most of the next 6 to 7 days. Thanks so much for joining me in my kitchen today, and I hope y'all have a great day. Bye. One of my favorite parts about a big cooking day is that in just a couple of hours, 6 meals are finished and my kitchen is clean. Oh, that's a good feeling.